Welcome back to ADHD Fabrication, where today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I, like many people in my generation, have been pretty inspired by the show Mythbusters with Adam Savage. And if you don't know, Adam Savage makes quite a bit of content here on YouTube. Something that he does that I really like, that I think can also help me with getting some stuff done around here, is he does one-day builds, where he can only spend about relatively a day on a build to get it completely done. And that strategy I figured could be cool for shorter length videos to go in between building bigger stuff like the Volkswagen, and also it'll help me be able to keep track and go, okay, I'm doing this project in this amount of time and not spending 80 hours on something that I should only spend like 12. So I was gonna say that this is inspired by Adam Savage's one-day builds, but it's a direct ripoff because this is the Ketchup Juicers one-day builds. So this series is going to be a mixture of utility and fun. It'll just be shrunk down to a shorter amount of filming time so that I have something that I can put out in between the longer, more in-depth videos. So with that, I'd like to formally welcome you to the Ketchup Juicers one-day builds. So today's one-day build is going to be a problem-solving thing, not a fun thing. This is the fabrication area. The fabrication area isn't very well set up. I'm slowly working on getting my fab area to be a good actual working area. This eventually will be all lined with tools here, bench grinders and the sort. This bench grinder is currently not even usable, the left-hand disc, because of that. Eventually I'll build a fab table and I'll get it put right here with fixtures and whatnot. And then that brings us to this table. I built this right when I moved into the shop because I didn't have any furniture, let alone fabrication furniture to build stuff on. So I was using this as my little welding table. And as time went on, I realized that this shelf that I got fit perfectly on it, and then it ended up getting retired as the welding table. Drill bits. And die grinder bits. And taps. And files. All sorts of that kind of stuff. Which I really like drawer sets and cabinets and maker drawers and things like that. I just have an attraction to them. So these are definitely staying, and it fit perfectly on this table. So the problem today that we are going to solve is twofold. This table is in the way of this wall, which we're going to continue outfitting with machines, and this is my current storage for all of the grinder discs that I have, which is real professional, as you can see. Oh, and then I guess there's the workbench storage too. So we have two problems to solve today. That table being in the way, and all of my grinder discs sitting all over the ground and taking up a large portion of my workbench. Let me get the area cleaned up a little bit more, and then I'll explain to you what the plan is with that table over there. Okay, not a whole lot, but we got a little bit cleaned up. Got this unburied at least. There's still some stuff that needs to come off of this. But we've got all of our grinder discs condensed into this box. Essentially, what today's one-day build is going to be is a shelf and pegboard setup that goes right down here, about half and half on the wall and past the wall. And since this welding table no longer has a place in my shop, what I'm thinking is that I'll go ahead and just cut it just past my little side rails that I have welded on here, And then I'll shorten it to only that width right there. This can sit there, and then underneath it I can have some storage for things like clamps and my wedges and whatnot for welding. And then above it I can have pegboard that can hold that horde of grinder discs. What might end up happening is I might end up just cutting these legs off and building a whole different base for it, because those are way heavier duty than they need to be. And that bottom shelf is 1/4 inch. So all of the bottom probably is just going to get scrapped. We'll see where it ends up. Alright, we got this piece off of there. I'm envisioning it about at that height. And then we'll have some shelves below it and pegboard above it. Any metal fabrication consumable type-esque stuff will go in this cabinet right here. I'm gonna go look at some metal. I'll be back to you in a second when I've got an idea of what I'm gonna do for the legs. in. We've got our supports on the bottom. We also just got our uprights put in, as you saw, which are these things, which are real tall. They'll fit just under that height right there. This is just a really thin piece of rectangle tube that I put at the top as a support, which I'm also probably gonna mimic that piece right down here as a second support. I think what we'll do next is actually put that bar in so that we can get our measurement and know exactly how big our pegboard piece is. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the drawers so that we can get the exact measurement of where I want that and weld it in just like that. And then when we put our pegboard on, I'm actually gonna put a little chunk of wood right here to space it off of the wall just a slight bit, so when you go to put your pegs on, this whole section right here that's flat against the wall, it won't just be useless. Let's get this thing finished out. Alright, that's as far as we're going with it right now. Eventually I'll put some shelves and cabinet drawers and close off the bottom. But what we're gonna do is go ahead and take off that stuff and get it put where it's supposed to be. And we'll put the drawers and we'll start throwing all the grinder discs on the pegboard as well. There's our one-day build of a welding and metal work consumable cabinet type thing. We've got all our drill bits in here, die grinder bits. We've got our grinder discs, cut-off discs, wire wheels, replacement blades for the chop saw, and the 9-inch grinder discs up on top. Eventually I'll do a cabinet on the bottom. But for now, this thing is going to do exactly what I need it to. Solves the issue of getting all of those grinder discs off of the ground, as well as opened up a whole bunch of space right here so that I can start envisioning how I want all of my equipment to be mounted. Long list of feng shui and infrastructure stuff, but that's one more thing that we can mark off. So, we're done with our one-day build. It works great. I definitely will be doing more of these one-day builds in the future. I feel like having a condensed time and a deadline is when I have to be done with the video will help me make some shorter videos that can come in between the larger videos for the bigger projects like the Volkswagen. Come back in 2 weeks if you'd like to see more on the Volkswagen, because that's what we'll be on next. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And remember, don't let your meat loaf.